Hey, welcome back to another video. I know that it's been quite a while since I've done one of these. Took a little bit of a hiatus from making any just because I didn't have much time, but today we're finally back after a month and a half off, and we're going to be discussing a video using rank 4 Sig 200 Kingpin. As of Black Friday, I was able to get Kingpin up to Sig 200 thanks to the Sig Stone deals. I think I've only made like one other video with him at rank 4 so far, so hopefully this will be very enjoyable for everyone. So we're going to be taking 9 today. We're going to have 8 fights total, along with a Knull mini-boss and Magneto final boss. Getting straight into it, we've got this Airwalker on Hazard Shift. One thing that you're going to see going into all of these fights is they're going to go extremely quickly. I didn't even do super big boosts. I mean, I always boost up, of course, just because that's how high tier war is. But these fights are going to go crazy fast. Airwalker especially is just such a good Kingpin matchup because you don't have to care about any of the Dark Tides, any of the armor breaks. You're just going to shrug them all, and your damage is going to go wild. So here I'm going to go straight for the special 2 just to get that unstoppable up. It's a really big damaging special. And here, just bait out that special 2 and then move in and go very aggressively. Now, some of y'all that have seen me play Kingpin before know that whenever I am unstoppable, I go very aggressive and play into the opponent as much as I can, which you'll end up seeing quite frequently in a few of these fights today. So moving on, we have Mordo. This is one of those fights where the Sinister Synergy is going to come in really handy with that power lock. I did bring the full Kingpin Synergy team today just because I knew that every single fight I'd be assigned, I would end up be taking with Kingpin. So here we're going to bait out that heavy and then go for straight to a special 1 just to get that degen up. And I was trying to go for the ability accuracy reduction. There he parried me, but because of the shrug chance, I shrugged it right off and was able to heavy into him to get rid of that power gain. So here he's playing super passively. I'm just going to heavy again, and since he was below a bar power, I went for another one. Here we're going to go for a special 2, and then here you'll see me just go very aggressively into him again, go for a heavy to break that, and then try to bait out another heavy and just combo him down into a special 1. Both of these fights have gone very quickly, both being under a minute of fight time, which will definitely be a common thing in this video for you. Next up, we've got this Korg shared fight on this Hazard Shift node. This is a really fun one for me. I actually quite enjoy fighting Korg with Kingpin, because he gets placed here decently often. It's a fun fight. So starting off, I just bait out the heavy, and I just move in with a medium regardless of the rock damage, because I know that I can heal it back. Then Kingpin has a really good light reach, so I'm able to very easily light intercept him. So I go for the special 1 a lot in this fight because it'll allow me to have the degen up constantly and have that ability accuracy reduction and the weakness on him, just in case I do end up taking any rock field damage. It'll let me, of course, reduce that, and the ability accuracy reduction will at times let me bypass the damage cap caused by the rock stacks, as well as the damage back. So here this fight's gone real quick and easy enough. He throws the L2, I combo after with my light attacks rather than mediums, just to not take any of the Thorns damage, and it's over. Moving into section 2, we're on path 9 again. Here we have a Black Widow Deadly Origin fight on One Eye Open. I'm going to go ahead and pop a regen boost just to top myself off and get straight into this fight. This one's super fun. So I believe I just go for my special 2 rotation so that I can play very aggressively into her. I let her hit into my block a lot and try to bait out heavies just because I do not want her to accidentally catch me, and even though I would convert a bunch of shocks onto myself into my rages, it still, isn't exactly ideal to be taking a bunch of hits in Alliance War. So we're going to keep on baiting out heavies, push her up to a special 2. Thankfully she throws it right away, and then now we're going to play aggressively into her, throw the special 2, and now this fight is essentially over. I'll let her hit into my block and then immediately retaliate because of the unstoppable, and she's down in about 30 seconds. Next up, we're going to be looking at a Dragon Man fight. This is an interesting one, because this is one where the Sinister Synergy really comes in handy with that power lock, because I don't really stun him very often to remove the power charge. Typically on this fight, if I take it with someone else, I try to make him throw a special 1 and let it hit into my block so that I can get that ineptitude and have a constant source of healing. However, with Kingpin, that is immediately transferred into rage, which equals more damage, which is always very welcome. So we're going to go for special 2 and play aggressively into him. There I actually accidentally parried, but it's kind of good that I did, because otherwise he would have gone to a special 3. Throws a special 2, he's still got that power lock on him, and gonna light intercept him, go for special 1, and the fight is down real easily. For the next fight, we have one of my favorites of the war, and we've got a Vision Aarkus on the shared fight of 7-9 section 2. As many of you know, Kingpin versus Aarkus is one of the best matchups ever. It is so fun, especially with the Sinister Synergy. It allows you to have a little bit of power control in the fight, but all of the debuffs just add up and make my damage go insanely high. So when I do this fight, I actually want to put the armor break on myself so that it'll stay, because it'll shrug the cold snap instead of the armor break, because Kingpin's shrugging does have a very slight cooldown, so those apply at the same time for the very first instance. So then that's where you see me dashing back and forth, so then I actually reapply the cold snap to myself and get a bunch of extra damage output. You can really see some awesome damage numbers in that fight with the 14k crits. It's a really good time. I definitely recommend trying Kingpin against Aarkus if you haven't before. It's an amazing time. So moving on, we've got this Knull Hurt Locker mini boss. This is another really fun fight. Knull against Kingpin is really straightforward, because all of the Living Abyss debuffs at the beginning of the fight get immediately converted. This one, it was a low sig, so I think it was only 1 or 2 debuffs, so I didn't immediately go into overpower, but I let him hit into my block once, which will still allow the Living Abyss debuffs to be applied, so it's just free debuffs for a Kingpin. Here I actually go for a second special 2, because I definitely remembered that Hurt Locker was on this node, and almost took a ton of additional damage, but was able to get a heavy off in time, and then just threw my special 1 while I was unblockable to finish it. For the final matchup of the day, we've got a Magneto boss with the hazard shift node still up. I'm at essentially full health. I still have all my boosts going from that Knull fight. Here, my entire goal is to go for special 2 rotations so that I can have Unstoppable up, so that I don't have to bait out his heavies or risk intercepts or additional hits in my block, because that Unstoppable will allow me to, of course, instantly retaliate. So here's where the Sinister Synergy really comes into play, because anytime he's throwing a special, I just completely lock him down, and it allows me to get a bunch of light intercepts off on him. Here we're going to try to evade that special 2, but actually get it into our block, which does a ton of damage, but it's alright. We're going to go for our second special 2, and as you see, this fight, about 45 seconds in, is basically over completely. Got a nice 22,000 crit right there, another 19,000 crit, and our last special 2, this fight is over. So with that, we've reached the end of our fights for today. I hope that you enjoyed this. This was meant to be a good showcase of my, rank 4 Kingpin, show off what he can really do. Hopefully you've learned a little bit about him. I think it's really weird. I see a lot of people not really rank him super highly, or just say, why wouldn't I just use Mole Man or Shang-Chi or somebody else for the fights? Hopefully this kind of shows you why. it's a weird discussion to have, and I've had it a lot with some alliance mates, some other people that I talk to a lot in Discord servers and everything. Kingpin is a really, really good champ, and if you just think like, oh well, I don't know what he really does, or I would just rather use somebody else, that's fine, but just do some testing, and maybe you'll end up liking him a lot. This is one of the most versatile and just strongest champs that I've ever used, and I felt that way about him since, way before I had him at rank 4. But I do not regret a single thing about bringing him up, and hopefully I will have more rank 4 videos for you coming soon. So if you did enjoy, please let me know, and if there's anything in particular that you want to see, any big showcases or any problem fights that you think would be interesting, please just let me know, and I'd be happy to check them out for you. So I appreciate your time, and thank you, and have a great day.